with Intention, podcast where we bring you stories from around the globe. I have yet another wonderful guest with me today. Her name is Jane Mahalini Haridat. So welcome. Just trying
Thank
not
you so
to get
much.
your name.
Yeah, beautifully pronounced. Thank you so much.
Oh, thank you so
I'm
much.
I'm I'm so excited to be here, Eva. Thank
Oh,
you.
thank you. And I am so happy to have you with us. And please tell us a little bit about yourself and where you're from. Just a little bit background before we jump into the main questions, please.
Yes, I live in the Netherlands. My ancestors are coming from India. I'm born in Suriname, which is in South America. And I live in the Netherlands and I'm a spiritual coach. I'm a spiritual coach and my passion is to help people to live from the heart and soul. So I'm focusing on soul embodiment and sacred sexuality as well, because as part of soul embodiment. And because it's so very important just to have a happy and soulful life here on planet Earth. I'm a medium, multi-dimensional medium as well, and that's something that I really love to do, a powerful medium. And I'm an author of the book Making Peace to Your Heritage.
Mm-hmm. Wow, so you already traveled quite a bit around this world from, pretty much all over, you could say. That's wonderful. And so welcome. Thank you for coming
Yeah.
on my podcast.
Yes.
So your journey is beautiful, a blend of spiritual depth and grounded humanity. Can you share with us maybe first what awakened your connection to the spiritual world?
I had a severe sexual abuse past, and I discovered it happened between my fifth and the 13th year, so it happened for 8 years, and and so I was really stuck in later in life. I was really, really, really stuck in life on all levels. So that was my wake up call, just to invest in myself and dive into myself, and then and work on my personal developments, my inner work. I did a lot of inner work for years and years and years. I traveled all around the world just to get my healings and to connect with spirits. And you know, while connecting with spirits, I discovered my psychic abilities. I started to connect so deeply that we became one. It was just like talking to you. It became so normal to talk with them, just like talking with you.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's so beautiful. In the beginning, of course, I didn't want to believe it, that I was capable of doing it, and that the voices and the messages that I was getting, that they were true, that they were talking to me. And but then I taught myself, I learned how to make the distinction between them and other energies that also try to interfere, so yeah, it is. I'm so passionate about my spiritual work and being on the spiritual paths, because we are souls. We are not only human. We are having, that is something that I truly believe, we are souls having a human experience here on planet Earth.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah.
So you talk about healing personal trauma and reconnecting with the soul
Yeah.
in the book. What does that healing process look like in practice?
The healing process in practice looks like that people are coming with their problems, with just they approach me thinking that, okay, they are stuck in their body. They have a very low self-esteem. They don't want their partners to touch them, mostly women. They don't want partners to touch them. They are hating themselves. They hate their bodies. They hate their sexuality, and sometimes they also had a sexual abuse background. And then I'm starting to work with them. Of course, there is a lot of intake, and we are connecting. I'm always creating a safe place for people. Always, there is always a long intake, just to people know me, feel my energies. And one of the most important thing is that people should feel safe with me. So and I always tell them, if you don't feel safe, I cannot work with you, and I understand, but I cannot work with you. Let's see how it works. And then when they come here, it can be in person, it can be online, of course. And then I'm using my psychic abilities as well, and I'm very intuitive. I can see what's happening, what the I'm using my medium skills just to see what's behind the trauma. I can see very deep, into all the things happening, and then step by step, working on their body, teaching them how they can love themselves again. It is a matter of returning through practice, practical exercises, and also sometimes massage if they live in the Netherlands or in Belgium, to bring them back to ground and to ground in themselves, to reconnect with themselves again. And it can take a year, but people who are a little bit further in their self-development, it can happen in just a few weeks. So I have several one-on-one programs, but I also have group programs. I work online and offline as well.
That's amazing. And
Yeah,
you do have a beautiful website. I had a glimpse at it. It's lovely
thank you.
colors, and you
Thank
offer
you.
so much. You have the book you mentioned earlier, Making Peace with Your Heritage.
Yes.
The title by itself is very powerful. What inspired you to explore this theme and bring it into the world? I know there's a story there because I read some of it on your website. Please tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, so I'm going to sweat now because I put the heating, the central heating on because it was so cold, and now I'm going to sweat. So I'm not nervous, but it's warm here. So,
It's all good.
but yeah, the universe. I was busy with the client. It's a beautiful story. I was busy with the client, helping her to connect with her roots again. She came from Indonesia, and helping her to connect with her roots again. And while I think it was the fifth or the sixth session, and that very clearly, and we went during a meditation. We went in energy form. We went to Indonesia, and Mother Earth, Mother Indonesia came just like a mother, just to carry her, just to make her feel safe and home again. And then all of a sudden I heard this voice in my heart and in my head telling me, write the book. The title is Making Peace to Your Heritage. And then I thought, okay, I was longing to write the book, so that was perfect that the universe, the guides, gave me the title. And it just in a few months they guided me, and I wrote this book. And of course they gave me all the steps to write, because what I'm doing in the book, and they told me that the purpose of the book is to help people to get a soulful life in their human life, just to return to their soul. Because most of us, we are afraid because a lot of things are happening in the world, and we are afraid to be human, and we forget that we chose to be human. And so I'm sharing my sexual abuse background and showing step by step how I managed to get out of it completely, and how I can live from the soul level, embodying my soul. So that is the purpose of the book. I
Mm-hmm.
hope it makes sense.
Yes, of course. And sorry you had to go through that. Um,
Oh no, it had this lesson. Yeah, I really consider it now as a gift. I know that it may be too fast to say it, but I worked for years on it. I'm going to reach the age of 67 in just a few weeks. So I worked a lot on it. And I discovered the sacred purpose of the sexual abuse. And it helped me just to discover the source power, to raise the sexuality, uh, as the power of the source. And if I didn't have that experience, I couldn't write this book. I couldn't have done all the things that I had to do, that I could do, and and feeling how I can and know how I can help people to live from their soul,
mm-hmm,
and how to heal from sexual abuse, because you don't need to stay stuck in it.
mm-hmm.
We're
Yeah.
meant to have an excellent life here on planet Earth. So it's all about soul embodiment. So no, I don't feel sorry anymore.
Mm-hmm.
I don't feel not
Yeah.
able. Of course, I had to go through the whole process.
Yeah,
Okay, so
exactly. You have to go through the process in order to, like, something happens. It's like, like, for example, somebody dies in your family, you go from knowing them to going through the process of them not being there and then coming on the other side. And sometimes people get stuck in one area and they just can't get out of it.
yeah,
And the growth happens when you move on to the next level. And like you were saying, you've
yeah.
have forgiven and things like that. And so what role does forgiveness actually play in here, for
Oh,
yourselves, for
huge,
others? Yeah. Can you tell us
huge,
more about
huge.
this?
Yes, huge, because I managed to, sexual abuse is a process of destruction. You're completely destroyed. I always say it destroyed all my cells, my brains, everything, my whole being. But
Mm,
then I had to rebuild everything and discover that if I wanted, that forgiveness was a major, major part of the whole process. Because I was also accusing myself. I thought, oh my God, how could I be stupid? That's stupid that it happened, I was
mm-hmm.
5 years old.
How old? Sorry?
5 years. It
Wow.
started on the age of 5 and it continued till the age of 13.
Mm,
8 years. And the people, it was happening in my home, was one of my brothers. And the people around me, my family, most of them knew, but they didn't do anything against it. They, keeping it silence, the shame and the guilt and all these kind of things. So what I had done is took it all in. I was accusing myself.
mm,
And so I had to teach myself to forgive myself. But before I could do that, and when I managed step by step to forgive myself and telling myself that it wasn't my fault, it wasn't, taking it from a human level, it wasn't my fault. Uh, and I really managed, and I'm to forgive my brother completely, completely without even talking with him about it, because I knew that I couldn't have that conversation with him because it was not going to work. And on the other thing that I also realized, Eva, is that waiting for his approval, waiting for his permission, just to have this conversation was making me weak, was making me depending on his approval.
mm-hmm.
And then, okay, of course, I cried a lot and going through all those layers of pain. But forgiveness is, oh my goodness, that's liberation, because you're not forgiving for somebody else. You're only forgiving in the first place for yourself. And that
Mm-hmm.
is something that people sometimes, if they are stuck in anger, they don't want to forgive the perpetrator, but if you're able to do it, I can speak from experience. Oh my goodness, that's the biggest freedom you can experience, because you're coming completely in your power and you know that you're not depending on somebody else. And liberating forgiveness means that the moment that I could do that, it meant that I was able to forgive easier, faster. If things were happening, that okay, I'm busy with soul embodiments. I'm busy with soul embodiment. Bring it there. Because if I don't forgive, I cannot live from my soul. I will stuck in the human level, the 3D experience, this the old being stuck in the old
Mm-hmm.
perception. And that is something that I didn't want to have.
Yeah. So how can we recognize when we're not really aligned with our soul? Because there's different alignments in life, but what about the soul? How do you know? Like, can you elaborate a little bit more on that for people that are maybe new to this?
Yeah, soul embodiment is amidst all turmoil, knowing that you can experience soul peace inside, and you can feel it in your body. When you're aligned, then even when sometimes it seems so very hard, things start to go easily. Clients are coming easily because you're aligned, and there is a lot of freedom here in the brain. It's just like uh, stillness.
Mm,
It's you're becoming receptive. There is no stress here, and there is a connection between the heart and the mind. And in my case, also not only the heart is opening, but also my gut, the belly.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a belly speaker. They always told me you're a belly speaker. So the second chakra, it's opening. So then I know, okay, things are becoming easier and I'm happy.
Yeah. You're not
Experiencing
suffocating.
happiness, lightness. And you know you can feel that it's very powerful. It's very powerful.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And
That's
sometimes,
well.
sorry, sometimes the soul has its own way just to make you alert on it. Just first, sometimes just to bring a thought, to repeat a thought, a thought or a feeling in your body, just to recognize, just to listen to it. And the moment that you listen to it, okay, this was something my soul wanted me to experience.
Mm-hmm.
And then, yeah, does it make sense? Do you
Of
recognize it
course.
yourself too?
Of
Yeah.
course. Yes. Yes. Um, Beautiful awareness, of course. I want to jump into a little bit of you speaking about transforming pain into wisdom.
Yeah.
Can you share maybe example, maybe another one from your own journey or from someone you've worked with, without obviously saying their names and stuff like that.
Yeah, I love to share that sometimes I just had a client yesterday. Just that's the most fresh one in my mind, in my memory, is that she was having a hard time um, with her husband because they didn't understand each other.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't understand each other, and she thought that he didn't understand her, and he was thinking that she didn't understand him. So there were all the things they were fighting, and they love each other deeply.
Mm-hmm.
But what happened is that I sat with her, and then I could look underneath what the real motives were, what was happening over there. And then in a meditation, I brought her, and I got a message that had to do something with something what happened at the age of 9 as a
Mm-hmm.
child, because feeling unsafe and not being heard. And that was her experience of a childhood, a painful experience of a childhood that was playing itself out completely all the time. And she didn't recognize it. And the moment that she could recognize it, she could open up and see that her husband was in the same state. So, what was happening is that he was acting from a painful memory, childhood trauma or memory, and she was doing the same thing. And I said, if there are two children, that's the wounded children that they are fighting with each other. These are the wounded children that are fighting with each other. So if you notice and if you recognize, then you will see that he is doing the same thing. And what I did is doing some exercises, meditation and healing, so she could embrace that wounded child, that 9-year-old child, and love and completely, just to accept it and recognize her own role, how she was playing it out. She became compassionate towards her husband. And she went home and she just sent me a message. She said, it was so helpful because I understand him more. And because I understand him more, he feels safety, because that is something that he was lacking during his childhood. He feels safe now to share his story with me. So they are bonding from the childhood, from the pain of the wounded children. They are bonding now on a more mature level, a more spiritual level, And then, yeah, the love is growing and recognizing what the soul has to teach them, that
Mm-hmm.
they are souls. And it's beautiful, Eva. It's beautiful.
Yeah,
If you
I love how
see
you
that,
describe that. And you know what, you're absolutely right. When you were talking about it, a lot of people live like that because we don't take care of ourselves. And then
yeah,
even when we come together with somebody else, we're still not nurturing really ourselves. And then here they're coming with their things. And then what
yes,
happens sometimes, a lot of energies clash. And then
yes,
we end up blaming each other for something that has really nothing to do except for
the-
the not being aligned, right?
yeah,
So you have
yeah,
two people that are not really aligned. Yeah, they love each other, like you said, and everything, but then eventually something happens. So here it's beautiful that they were able to get into it, you're able to help them and things like that. But unfortunately, a lot of people don't work on that, and they end up, either fighting more, getting divorces, or whatever else happens,
Yeah,
right? Which
yeah,
is
yeah, and
unfortunate. Yeah.
it is true. Sorry, I'm so enthusiastic just to talk about it because there's also another example that it impacts also your love life. I
Mm-hmm.
always teach my clients, don't take your mother or father with you in your bed. You know, don't don't make them sleep in between you, the both of you, because if because sometimes something, there's still the trigger, the body reminds something, and if you're born, if you're giving birth to a child, that child is taking all the pain, all your emotions, everything from you as a mother, and
Mm-hmm.
also a father as well. But and sometimes if your mother didn't like to make love to your father because she was taught that was disgusting, and you're thinking later on in your own relationship the same thing, then know that these are not your thoughts, these are not your energies. It just came into your system. And if you
Yeah.
recognize that, then it's not about you. But
Mm-hmm.
we are so internalizing everything that we
Mm-hmm.
take, that we are feeling, and thinking that we are our thoughts, we are our emotions, but it's coming from ancestors, coming from other people, and
Yeah, we're
we
like
can
those sponges, and then we never want to sponge out.
yeah, and just we can squeeze the sponge now,
Yeah.
we,
Yeah.
we can just squeeze the sponge and put our own water, and the smell that we like and the fragrance, so we can make our own sponge and take
Mm-hmm.
all the good stuff that we really
Yeah.
like.
Fragrant sponges.
Yeah.
So what would
Nice
you say?
stuff.
So what are some simple, maybe daily practices that can help people reconnect to their inner peace and their authentic power, like to start with, let's say?
Yeah, I always tell one of the exercises that I always do with people is just to be aware of your thoughts. What are you thinking? What are you thinking about yourself? If you're looking at your body, which part of your body do you like? And which part of your body you don't like? Because it sounds very simple and normal, because we talk a lot about it. But most of the time, we don't dive into the emotions. We don't feel really what's happening in our body. And then and yeah, just to be aware of it, just to be aware of it. And sometimes you don't need to judge and know and become aware of you're judging it or not. This is very simple, very simple. Just become aware. If I'm feeling here, if I'm looking at my hands, and do I judge it, or can I say to myself, oh, I have beautiful hands, and let me just touch my hands, and just give my body, my hands, a little massage to connect with myself. Because
Yeah.
if we are talking about connection, we are talking about connecting first through the body. Because if you reject your body, which part, then you're disconnecting from the body. Because it's always the mind, if you think, okay, my body is ugly, then you're disconnecting from the body. And it is our body that we need to feel happy and feel connected.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the things that I also do is walk in nature. Of course, everybody, nature has such a very powerful impact. It is the energy of nature, just to sit and meditate, even when it's 5 minutes,
Mm-hmm.
5 minutes before, 5 minutes per day. If you're busy, you can do it, because it's all, and always know it's always about yourself. You're not doing it for somebody else. And just be aware of the thought that you're going to sleep with, because the last thought that you're going to sleep with will impact the next day. And be aware of the thought that you're waking up with, because it's very important.
Mm-hmm.
I hope this helps. It's and just be aware, if you're driving, where are your thoughts? Can you tell the car, I'm doing it all the time, can you tell your car, oh my goodness, I'm so happy that you're bringing me everywhere I want to go, bring me safe, let's have a safe drive. And You know, Eva, years ago, somebody told me you have to just enjoy a glass of tea, a mug of tea. And I thought, enjoying tea, I'm drinking tea, but that's something different than consciously mindful enjoying a cup of tea or a cup of coffee.
Yeah, usually we just devour it or like, yeah,
Yeah.
that was good,
Oh
okay,
yeah,
done.
okay, yes, and then doing a lot of other things, you know. And
Yeah.
then I had to teach myself just to hold my mug and you know and look at it and say, oh my God, you're beautiful and the taste is wonderful. I like the taste. Just to
Hmm.
use the senses and
Yeah, my mentor always says, I drink my coffee and I drink it like a millionaire because that's who I am. She's like, Feel like $1 million when you're drinking because, and really, sip into it." But, for some people, that's what it is. Somebody else might be doing something else, candy, chocolate, whatever. But he's like,
yeah,
when I drink my coffee, I drink it with purpose. I'm a
yeah,
millionaire and I feel
yeah,
so
yeah,
good and
yeah.
whatever story you want to tell yourself, right?
Yeah, but you know, it is coffee, but also the food, you know,
Yeah,
if
food
you're,
too. Yeah.
can you think, one of the things that I always do, even when I'm drinking or eating, and especially when I'm having my meals, it doesn't matter when it's the breakfast or lunch or dinner, I always thank.
Yes.
I
Yeah.
always thank the meal.
Yeah.
I always thank the meal and asking the meal all the ingredients and my food my food and my drinks just to become defined, just to raise into the define uh to my divinity,
Hmm.
you know, and to become one with my divinity and to be safe for my digestion and all myself as to nurture myself. And I
Yeah.
can feel that it's a different way of eating food and drinking.
Yeah, instead of just inhaling, you're actually spending time, you're connecting with it.
Yeah,
So,
yeah,
one question I want to ask, from the book, Making Peace with Your Heritage. What is
yeah.
the greatest hope that you hope that the readers will get from reading it? What's one thing you really want?
Yeah, my greatest hope is that people know that if they read the book, that if they see that I am able to ascend to a soul level, that all lessons, everything is a lesson in life, even the most severe pain and experience, that we can all come out of it and to reach, because it's a path to our soul. It is helping us to return to our soul. And I hope that if people read the book, that they are able to be happy in their human life, because this book is written to help people to be happy in their human life.
Hmm. Wonderful.
That is, yeah, and it's not only a book, it's there are exercises, it's an expert book, and it's combined with a workbook and also a healing meditation with
Beautiful.
the yeah, yeah. So,
So the name of the podcast is Rise and Thrive Mornings with Intention. How important do you think it's to set intention first thing in the morning for the rest of your day?
oh, I can't live without intention. I have to. Sometimes you're waking up, you know, a little bit tired and all these kind of things. If I don't put an intention, my whole day is spoiled. So it is essential just to put an intention in the day. And even when you wake up and I'm just telling myself, okay, today I'm choosing to be happy, vital, and energized. And especially when I feel tired, this is my day. And then I start to meditate, putting my candles on, you know, and then meditate. But intentions are very, very important to start your day with, but also to bring your day to a closure.
Hmm.
Because there is always in the night you want to have a good sleep as well, right? And
Of
then
course,
yeah,
that's
it's
wonderful.
beautiful. Yeah, it's beautiful. It's beautiful that you're helping people to put you just to remind us, you know, all of us, that intention is very important, because we are the creators of our day. We are the creators of our life. So, and if we put intention, then somebody else cannot have an impact on it.
Hmm.
Then we are not getting distracted by other things happening around us.
Yeah, I think it helps us, flow in better alignment with everything
Yeah.
else that we do
Yes, it
throughout.
is. Yeah, yeah. It surely helps us to stay aligned.
Of course. Well,
Yeah.
thank you so much, Jane, for being here with me today. Thank you very much for everybody who's tuning in. I hope you take something valuable from this. If you'd like to work with us, please message us. All the links are, of course, posted in this video. Don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss my next podcast and what's coming up next. So thank you so much, Jane. It was a pleasure to have you, and looking forward to connecting with you sometime in the future again. So
Oh, yes.
next
Thank you
time.
so much.
You're
Thank you so
welcome.
much. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you very much and take care, everyone.